Hello. As I made a video earlier where I talked about video games, and I talked only in Swedish, I think. I think I'm going to do another one, but now in English, so everyone can understand, because it got quite popular. I guess many people like video games and like to feel part of a community where people enjoy them. So I'm going to talk about some more games that I don't have the actual what's it called? Things they put them in. I can't find the word, but you know what I mean. The case. That's right. So I think I will edit in some pictures from them and they will pop up somewhere. Magic. If I will manage it, I'm not actually sure on how to do it, but I think I will solve it eventually. So, as I think there might be many people who find this video that don't know about ASMR, I think I should tell you that it is an ASMR video is a video where you try to make people sort of drowsy, like you try to get them a happy drowsy feeling where they feel relaxed by making certain sounds like talking slowly and whispering, making movements, maybe whispering really close like this with mouth sounds. So that is why I am speaking very silently. I hope you will enjoy. So I'll just start talking. I don't really know what to say. It's all from my head right now. But I have a list of the games, and I think some of them were in the list of links below the other video, and some are new that I have been playing recently. We'll start from the top and see how long my energy will last. Let's see. So the first game is Sam and Max. I don't know if it's possible to see the list. Don't know. So Sam and Max, it's like a dog is Sam. Sam is a dog. And Max is a rabbit or bunny. And they are the freelance police. A couple of guys who chase around criminal people, or animals actually. Because I think almost everyone in this game is an animal. No, that's wrong actually. I think Sam and Max began as a comic book, but I did not come across it until I played the games. So it's a very long series of games. I can't remember the names. You'll probably see on pictures some of them. I remember one was called Night of the Raving Dead and Samunmak, as in like Egyptian version of their names. I think it was really fun. It's a great script. It's a comedy, a well-written comedy, in my opinion. It's really funny. They have like running gags where something really random comes up suddenly and everyone is surprised, and then it comes again when you least expect it. It's really funny. They also have a friend. What's his name? Is it Bozo, maybe? I think so. Who owns a shop next door. And he has extremely many things to say. I don't remember exactly what he's speaking about, but he says like the same thing like 1,000 times, but in different ways. I think he has costumes or something. He tries to look like someone else, and he behaves differently every time. It's really funny to see, and you're always looking forward to seeing what he's up to. Yeah. And it's a point-and-click game, puzzler, as you will find many of these are, as it is my favorite genre. The next one, I think I spoke a bit about these, but not so much. The next one is called To the Moon, and this is a very serious game. The design is quite like cutesy, a bit old style game in the look. It's also a point and click game, and it's about two detectives. I don't know if you can call them detectives, really. Special agents who work with going into old people's minds, and fulfilling dreams that they have before they die. So old people ask for them to come, and they put like a machine on them, and they go into their mind to like change their memories so that they align with the dream that haven't been fulfilled in their lives. And the puzzles are pretty easy and not so much connected to the story, really. But yeah, it's okay, I think. Because the story is really gripping. It's a love story in the base, but I think it's also quite philosophical in the way it talks about dreams and memories and that stuff. I think there is a cry play video on this one, and yeah, if you play it, you will cry a lot. But I think it's nice to cry sometimes. I think my boyfriend is coming home now. Could hear something. We'll see if he disturbs us. And the third game is Botanicula. I think the developers are Swedish. Amanita design, they are called. And this is a very pretty game. It's about small insects who live in a large tree, and suddenly there is a new kind of creature that is eating the other insects and the tree too. It's like a parasite, I think. And well, you have to save the tree. It's basically that. You play as a small group of insects or creatures or whatever you call them. I think some of them could actually be called like seeds, or maybe a kind of mushroom. So you run around in there and solve puzzles and help people who have been terrorized by that new creature. It's scary. The creature is like a black hole almost, with legs that just suck in everything. And it has some very original imagery and music. I love the music, it's just so cute and creative. It feels really summery also, I think. So yeah, you have to check out that one. I love it. It's quite short also, I think you finish it in maybe 4 hours. To the Moon is also short. It's also like 4 or 5 hours maybe. And 7 Max is really long if you play all of the games in the series. So you have a lot to look forward to with that one. The next game is Valiant Hearts, which I haven't actually played through the whole one. I don't know what happened really. I think I should, because I really liked it. It's about, is it the First or the Second World War? I think it's the second. And it has a lot of historical facts in it. And you play as several different characters to see their point of view in the war. Characters from both sides also. I think there's one. Is she from France, I think? A nurse. There's one American and one German also. Are there any more? I don't remember. This is also a puzzle game. It's like 2D where you just run to the side. It's not really a point and click game because you push the arrows to move around. And yeah, you're basically following orders in the war, or not following orders sometimes. Depends what happens. And it's also gripping. I'm not sure there's much of a story in there. And there is like a fate for the characters, but not really a fairy tale story. also interesting with the small facts and things that you discover in the game. It's like you discover collectibles and they have some kind of fact about the war. So it's educational too. And it's sad and heartwarming at the same time. Oh, there's a dog too. I remember now. You can play as the dog sometimes. Yeah, a bit depressing in some places, but it's what actually happens like every day in wars in the world. So I think it's good to know actually, so you know what you're up against. The next game is a bit more wacky. It's a puzzle agent, and as the name can tell you, it's obviously a puzzler, and it's about an agent, of course. I think his name was something like Agent Tethers or something, and it's kind of like Fargo styled game in the story and how it looks. It's drawn in a really unique style. Many people, I think, will think it's ugly. Yeah, I can't really decide if I think that too. It's unique anyway. And you have to solve a mystery with parts of surreal things in it. But basically you go around talking to people and solve classic puzzles. Like, yeah, logic. You have to see different statements and see use of, what is it called? Uteslutningsmetoden in Swedish. When you have different things and you dismiss one after the other, and then at the end you're left with one, which must be the right answer. Deduction, I think. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes told me. So, it's a cozy kind of, a bit creepy game. In a cozy way. Yeah, it's relaxing. And you get happy when you have solved a puzzle, because some of them are kind of hard, and some are not. It's a mix. And the next one is Deponia, the Deponia trilogy. There are three games. I think the first one is called Deponia, and then it's Chaos on Deponia, and the last one is Goodbye Deponia. And it's about a guy who lives on a planet where it's like a garbage planet, and he wants to leave and go to I think it's a space station where the upper class has gone, and he's always making inventions to try to leave, but everyone thinks he's crazy. And yes, he is crazy. He's like an anti-hero. I really didn't like the game in the beginning, actually, because I thought it was sexist. But you grow to like it anyway, because yeah, that's just the character. That's who he is, and yeah, he's pretty mean and well, not politically correct. But I think it's fun to have a hero that is so not perfect that is actually like a villain. I think it's a nice twist to really not like the character who is the hero. But in the end, you kind of do anyway. Yeah, one day on this planet, a girl falls down from the sky, and she's upper class, and he instantly falls in love with her because she's hot. And he wants to get together with her, and I think the whole first game is about him trying to do that. Doesn't go too well. I think I shouldn't tell you much more about the story, but there's more action later, and it's actually quite dark. There's a part where he dies actually, and then comes back again because he cheats the system or something. And yeah, it's a bit disturbing actually, but it's still light and a light tone and feel in the game, and humorous. So yeah, don't expect political correctness from this one, but just go with it and take it for the humor and irony and sarcasm. And you will have a fun ride. The next game is The Longest Journey, which is a really old point and clicker. I think it came sometime in the 90s, something like that. And it is actually a long journey. It's about a girl who she discovers that she has some kind of connection to another world, and the game is about her exploring that connection, and she has to save both worlds, of course, towards the end. I don't remember so much about the story, but it's like a dystopian fairy tale. I remember, I think the part of the city where she lives is called Venice. So I think the whole planet is like a big city. The whole planet. Where she lives, which in the world that is like the real world. And the other one is more like a magical fairy tale place, which I don't remember the name of. No, I will not remember it. Yeah, it's a classic point and click game with an older feel to the graphics. next to. Uh, yeah. And next one is Edna and Harvey. I think the one I played was called Edna and Harvey's New Eyes. It's a quite new game in the series. I think there are several of them, but I've only played one. And it is a very cartoony game. It's about a little girl. I think she is not Edna, but Edna is her friend. And they live in what is it called? Kloster på svenska. In Swedish. Convent, I think, in English. Like with nuns and stuff. She doesn't have any parents. So she's taken care of by a nun in a convent. But the nun, what's her title? Mother Superior, of course. That's what they all are called. She's not very nice. She's very stern, and she always thinks that this little girl is trouble, even though she isn't. And strange things happen around this little girl. They start happening, and then it is actually the little girl's fault, I think. Very much the girl's fault. Horrible things, actually. People die. People die because you want to solve the puzzles. So it's a pretty creepy game. A little girl running around killing people for freedom. Just because she doesn't want to rake leaves. But as she is a troubled child, Mother Superior calls on an expert who can hypnotize children to be nice. Okay, and then we have a couple of telltale games. The first one that I have written down is Game of Thrones. I haven't played that one through either, because I found a lot of other games and got all excited. But I think I will eventually. For those of you who are not familiar with telltale games, they are often based on a popular game or TV series or movie, and they make a new story based on that. And the game mechanics is it's a lot of dialogue where you choose what to answer people, and what you choose to say develops the story in a certain way. So you can get a lot of different results depending on your choices in the story. And often a lot of people die in these games, not all of them. But in Game of Thrones, obviously, people are gonna die. this wasn't actually one of my favorites of Telltale games, but it's still good, I think. It's a good adaptation of the series and books. You follow a family who are spread out in the world. Some of them are at home. You have the Lord and his mother, his wife, and is it his siblings or is it their children? I don't remember. I think it's his siblings. That's one location. Then you also have his sister, who is in King's Landing, serving as a maid. And it's also his brother, who is in... is it... where is it? Is it Pentos? No. What's it called? That city where... the Targaryen is... I don't remember right now. I will, I know, but not now. Yeah. So if you have seen the series or read the books, you will recognize the setting a lot. And also know a lot about the characters which you shouldn't trust and which you might trust, but you really shouldn't trust anyone. So you have to be really careful. But however, whatever you do, something is going to shit. I think I wrote down another one of the Telltale games here. Let's see. Yeah, one of the latest ones that I played is Tales from the Borderlands, which was recommended to me by my sister. I thought I wouldn't appreciate it as I hadn't played the game Borderlands, but it doesn't matter at all. I think it's a great game. It's really funny. And as I said, many of the Telltale games are quite dark and people die and but this one is, yeah, people die, but it's kind of, they die in a light-hearted way. It's a comedy. Yeah, it's a bit similar to the Deponia story, actually. There are some people who live on a planet that has, well, it's a dystopian planet. They have really dangerous animals, like alien creatures, and a lot of bandits who got released there from the... I don't remember really what the background is. I think I read about that after I had played it. Anyway, it's not a good place to live in. And there's also a space station or something where a company has settled. What are they called? Hyperion. And you follow two guys on that space station and also two sisters down on the planet. But as the story develops, they come together. Try to make a living. And it is an action-filled game. I got the feeling of the new movie new version of Mad Max actually, because there's quite a lot of chase scenes, and they're really well done, and yeah, it's good. I love it. Good action and very cinematic game, but still you feel a part of it. And really funny, good dialogue too. Yeah, so that's the Telltale games for you. Then we have The Whispered World, which I also think I had talked a bit about. Also a classic point and clicker about a boy who, I think he works as a, what's it called? Narr. Those little guys with like bells on their hat who should amuse a king or something. Yeah, he's one of them. And he is he's a sad, depressed character. Does not have a positive outlook on life. He's always sighing. But he wants to get out in the world. He feels the urge to save the world. Although he doesn't really know if it wants to be saved. So it's a classic fairy tale with a little guy who saves the world. And there's really beautiful artwork in this game, which I think was the best part of it, really. And some nice music too. One thing that irritated me was his voice, though. I absolutely hated his voice. It's so... but it's a cozy experience on the whole. I don't know how to describe it more. Yeah, there are bad guys. What is it that they want to do? I don't remember actually. There's something about an object that will give them power that he has to try to protect or steal from them. Yeah. Basic fairy tale. And then there's The Vanishing of Ethan, which is in first person. It's a puzzler, and you walk around in a really nice looking forest. Look for clues. You're kind of like a detective, but we don't really know what the story is. That is what the game is about, to make it clear what have happened in this place and why you're there and so on. And it is a creepy game. At one place it's really scary. I had trouble playing it actually. I had to Google it and look at a video to see what happens to kind of settle into the idea of what was going to happen to me, because I thought it was so scary. But most of the time it's just really eerie feeling. but I thought was really nice. And it's good music in it too. And the world is mostly, well, there's no people there, no animals or no nothing. You just walk around and look for clues. And that is sort of mysterious, and yeah, I like the feeling. Being alone in a mysterious world, and you have to find out what has happened. It's hard to tell you something about this because it spoils the experience a lot to tell you about the story. It's all about the mystery. Looking at things and experiencing what. Yeah, I think it's memories. There's some cutscenes like in game sometimes where like ghosts appear or something, and you can walk around still, but they talk and do stuff that you look at. I like that too. Yeah, that one's really good, I think. The Night of the Rabbit. It's by the same creators as for The Whispered World. Also has some nice artwork. I think it's more for children, this one. It's really cutesy and cozy and yeah, it's really not depressing anyway. It's nice and warm, and wow, it feels like a hug. That's how I would describe it. But it has some dark elements too toward the end. So it's about a boy, a regular boy, who lives with his mother. I think his father is not there anymore. And suddenly there's a rabbit, a wizard bunny, who tells him that you're a wizard, Harry. Yeah, I think he wasn't called Harry, but yeah, you get the picture. And that he will teach him how to be a wizard, and he should come with him to the other world. I think the only thing about The Night of the Rabbit that I was not so fond about was that you have to listen to the same music stuff for a very long time if you play it in the pace I play. So it kind of gets irritating after a while. And when you move around, you have to move through the same places, like you have a background where you move around in that, and then you go out the corner, and then you have another one, and then you have another one, and then you have another one. So you have to go through all that, and you have to go to places to get stuff, and that's kind of irritating, I think. Still a cozy good game with good music, if though a bit too well used. Yeah, the last game I played, I think, was Ether 1, or how you say it. I'm not sure what it is supposed to mean. Ether 1. It's kind of surreal. You are a specialist that again goes into the minds of people. More closely mentioned, it's people with Alzheimer's. So that's quite sad. And you try to restore their memories so they don't forget everything by moving around in a representation of their memories and looking for little objects that will help them to connect things that happened in the past with their life. And you have contact with some kind of scientist who tells you what to do and who is at the same time sitting with the patient somewhere, I think. It's kind of hard to understand the context. I think it should be. I like that. It's very open, the story. You can analyze it any way you like. But there is a story behind it. And some parts of it is quite disturbing, but not to an extreme level. It's also mysterious, kind of like the vanishing of Ethan. But yeah, you have more contact with this scientist, so you have someone who is guiding you around, so it's a bit more human, what you should say. But you walk around and solve puzzles and look for stuff. Also quite philosophical, like To the Moon. It's kind of the same theme. Another one I played recently that has not yet come out, all of the parts of it, is the new version of King's Quest. Classic point and clicker, light mood in it. Except for the last episode, it was kind of, it was heavy. Yeah, you are playing as a young knight, or in the beginning he just wants to be a knight, and he goes for an audition as a knight. Yeah, it's quite funny actually. And you have to overcome a lot of obstacles to get there. And then when you get there, you have a couple of trials that you have to pass to win. And there's also a cave with a dragon, of course, and a magic mirror which the dragon is guarding, and that mirror will make you king if you get it back. So I guess that is the King's Quest part. Yeah, it's a basic point and click, go get things and combine them and test things out until they work game. Also a comedy with quite well written dialogue. I liked that one. There are a lot of funny characters in the game too. like the other knights who are auditioning. They're extreme stereotypes, but yeah, the dialogue is so witty that it is really well done. Yeah, fantasy game. Yeah, now I think I've actually gone through the whole list. Yeah. So I have talked about Salmon Max, To the Moon, Botanicula, Valiant Hearts, Puzzle Agent, Deponia, The Longest Journey, Edna and Harvey, Harvey's New Eyes. Oh, and Harvey is the teddy bear bunny. Game of Thrones Telltale Game, The Whispered World, The Vanishing of Ethan, The Night of the Rabbit, Ether One, King's Quest, Tales from the Borderlands. So that was video number 2 about video games. I hope that you liked it. My English is okay, I think. But yeah, I do not always find the right words. But I think I can explain pretty well what I try to say. Yeah, I guess there will be more of these as I play quite a lot. So maybe I'll gather up some games in maybe a year or something, so I have something to talk about.